Now joined by Nile Gardiner, who's the director of the Margaret Thatcher Centre for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation. Welcome to the show, Nile. You may have overheard there we were talking about the special relationship. Historically, of course, it didn't get any more special than under Maggie Thatcher doing the foxtrot with Ronald Reagan. But where are we today, do you believe, in terms of that so-called special relationship? And more to the point, if the sands of politics shift towards a Trump president, what might that mean for Sir Keir Starmer's Labour government?
Well, Martin, many thanks for having me on the show from Washington, D.C. You asked many important questions there. I think, firstly, the special relationship has been damaged by Joe Biden, who has been the most anti-British president, I think, of the modern era. In fact, he started off his presidency by throwing a bust of Winston Churchill out of the Oval Office, just as Barack Obama had done before him. And Biden has been relentlessly anti-Brexit, of course. He sank the prospects of a US-UK trade deal. He refused to attend the coronation of King Charles. On so many fronts, I think Biden has been a particularly unpleasant and nasty figure towards the British people. I think that, Biden certainly has been on his best behavior with the arrival of Keir Starmer, the new prime minister, and of course Biden and Starmer are ideologically similar figures on the left, I think that Biden is making some effort to be friendly towards the new prime minister, but Biden may not be in office for too much longer. Most polls are strongly indicating that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. And as you pointed out earlier, Martin, and as Christopher pointed out, David Lammy and many figures in the new British government have made very unpleasant remarks about Donald Trump. I think this will bite the British government in the back if Trump takes power. He will not forget, I think, the very nasty stuff that Lammy has said about him, for example. I do think the appointment of David Lammy as foreign secretary is a disastrous decision. And sends completely the wrong signal, especially if there's going to be a change of presidency here in Washington.
And as you point out there, Niall, in terms of politics right now, Joe Biden and Keir Starmer, they're bedfellows. But if Donald Trump gets in on net zero, on immigration, on oil, on Ukraine, on NATO, on the European Union, they're polar opposites. And so there the question then falls to, who could be the go-between, the ambassador? Now, two names have been mentioned, David Miliband and Peter Mandelson, but there's been a lot of talk about Donald Trump being a non-conformist. He might want to go a different route. And there, a certain other name has been mentioned, Nigel Farage.
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the key figures in the Labour establishment, socialists really, they're not going to get on with Donald Trump. And on so many positions, this Labour government is completely at odds, actually, with where Trump would be. And if you look at, for example, the Labour Party's net zero agenda, if you look at the statements they've made with regard to Israel and Gaza, Labour will likely support the recognition of a Palestinian state. David Lammy has supported the ICC prosecution of Benjamin Netanyahu. And so there are big differences ahead. And I can see a lot of tension between Washington and London ahead if you have a Labour government and a new Republican presidency. Also, of course, Trump is far more pro-Brexit than most of the Labour leadership. He will hold, I think, Starmer's feet to the fire over Brexit. And Trump believes that Brexit is great, not only for Britain, but also for the United States, which it is. And I think that Brexit is essential, actually, to the future of the special relationship.
Nile Gardiner, director of the Margaret Thatcher Centre for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation. Always an absolute pleasure to get your expert insight. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Many thanks,
Cheers, mate.
Martin.